Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive.
Yeah.
This time we're getting into the holiday spirit.
Ooh, festive.
Not exactly. We're talking about a horror classic,
All right, I'm intrigued.
1974's Black Christmas.
Now, that's a film that truly chills you to the bone.
It's one of the earliest slasher films out there.
Oh, yeah. Predates Halloween, even.
Exactly.
So we're talking about a pioneer in the genre.
Absolutely. And it's amazing how it set the stage.
For so many of the tropes we know and love today.
Right, but Black Christmas does more than just slash.
It gets under your skin.
It builds this incredible atmosphere of dread.
Psychological suspense.
That's the key.
It messes with your mind.
And that opening scene,
Oh, man. That opening scene.
simple yet so effective.
The snow-covered campus, the Christmas lights.
The sense of peace,
But then you see it
that slow creeping POV shot.
through the sorority house.
We're literally seeing through the killer's eyes.
It's like we're right there with him, lurking in the shadows.
And that sorority house,
A character in itself,
this massive old mansion,
converted into a sorority house.
feels so isolated and vulnerable.
Especially with the snow blanketing everything outside.
Director Bob Clark knew exactly how to use that setting.
To create a sense of claustrophobia.
And then you have the characters.
The residents of this soon-to-be bloodbath.
Each one's so distinct.
We have Jess, our final girl.
Dealing with an unexpected pregnancy and a very possessive boyfriend.
Then there's Barb,
The sharp-tongued rebel.
always ready with a witty comeback.
Phil trying to keep everyone calm.
The voice of reason.
And then poor Claire.
Our first victim.
Yeah, her fate is,
Tragic.
But they're not just victims.
They feel like real people.
With their own friendships, rivalries, anxiety.
Which makes their fates all the more impactful.
And then there are those phone calls.
Oh my God, the phone calls.
So disturbing.
Obscene rants and threats.
From this mysterious caller.
A moaner, they call him.
Using different voices to taunt the girls.
Pure psychological torture.
A violation of their safe space.
It's brilliant how Clark uses those calls.
To ratchet up the tension.
You never know when the phone is going to ring.
And it's their own phone line.
It's like he's already inside their heads.
Before he even physically enters the house.
And the things he says.
The voices he uses.
Chilling.
And then Claire disappears.
Gone without a trace.
The police.
Oh, the police.
So dismissive.
How condescending.
Brushing it off as a teenage prank.
It's sadly realistic.
Yeah. It speaks volumes about how women's concerns,
Were often disregarded.
especially back then.
And then, to make matters worse,
Another disappearance.
Janice Quaife.
A young girl from the town.
It raises the stakes.
The killer isn't just focused on the sorority.
This is a threat to the whole community.
And then we find Mrs. Masinka.
In the attic.
Yeah. That's a
Brutal scene.
gruesome,
The house mother.
supposed to be a figure of authority protection.
And she's gone.
It's like no one is safe.
The killer is getting bolder.
And the film doesn't make it easy on us.
Throws in some red herrings.
Like Peter Jess's boyfriend.
He's got a motive.
Possessive, angry.
Could he have snapped?
It keeps you guessing.
Questioning everyone.
That's the brilliance of Black Christmas.
You're constantly on edge.
Trying to figure out who the killer is.
And what they'll do next.
It's a masterclass in suspense building.
That's for sure.
This film knows how to keep you hooked.
And we're just getting started. You know what's really interesting about Black Christmas?
What's that?
It takes those traditional holiday tropes
Yeah.
and completely flips them on their head.
Absolutely. Instead of warm and fuzzy Christmas cheer,
We get pure terror.
right in the middle of the holiday season,
Those Christmas decorations,
they become almost ironic.
juxtaposed against the darkness unfolding,
It's like the holiday setting.
makes the horror even more unsettling.
And let's talk about the killer.
Billy,
We never really learn his full story.
or his motives,
He remains a mystery.
a shadowy figure.
We see glimpses of him,
Hear his voice through the phone.
but we never fully understand him.
Do you think that makes him scarier?
Oh, absolutely. The ambiguity adds to the terror.
It plays on our fear of the unknown.
The darkness lurking right next door,
He could be anyone.
hiding anywhere.
And the fact that he's within the familiar,
The seemingly safe space of the sorority house.
it's even more unsettling.
It's like a reminder.
That evil doesn't always have a face.
It can be hidden in plain sight.
And that ties into the film's social commentary.
Yeah, the feminist
You
undertones.
can't ignore them.
Black Christmas was released.
During a time of major social change,
The second wave of feminism,
women were fighting for equality.
demanding to be heard.
And you see that reflected in the characters.
Like Jess,
She's strong-willed, independent,
dealing with an unplanned pregnancy,
a controlling boyfriend,
but she's determined to make her own choices.
even if they go against societal norms,
She's a great example,
of a complex female character.
not just a victim.
And the film doesn't shy away.
From portraying the sexism of the time.
The police dismissing Claire's disappearance.
Yeah, that's a perfect example.
It reflects a society,
That didn't take women's concerns seriously.
especially when it came to their safety.
And the sorority house itself.
It represents this female space,
A sisterhood
and it's violated.
invaded by this malevolent force
It's like a nightmare scenario,
of patriarchal intrusion
a reminder of the threats
that women faced during that era.
as they challenge traditional roles.
And Black Christmas doesn't hold back.
On the violence,
Oh no, some of those death scenes.
they're brutal.
Gruesome,
Mrs. Mack's death in the attic,
impaled on that hook.
so disturbing.
And Barb's death, too,
The glass unicorn ornament,
as a weapon.
it's terrifyingly creative.
And it subverts,
That innocent Christmas imagery,
taking something beautiful.
twisting it into something grotesque.
But the violence isn't gratuitous.
It serves a purpose.
It ratchets up the
It
tension.
reminds us of the real danger,
In that ending,
just trapped in the cellar.
the killer seemingly getting away.
That final ambiguous shot,
It's chill.
it leaves you with this lingering unease.
Like the nightmare could continue.
Even after the film is over.
I heard the original ending.
Was even darker,
Yeah, Billy was supposed to call Jess,
implying that he was still out there.
but the studio thought it was too bleak.
They wanted a more conclusive ending.
I kind of prefer the ambiguity.
Me too. It adds to the film's overall creepiness.
And the cinematography's
That
fantastic.
snowy exterior.
So atmospheric.
Bob Clark knew how to use
Light and shadow.
to create mood.
Those dimly lit rooms.
Shadowy hallways.
It's like danger could be lurking anywhere.
And the performances are great.
Margot Kidder is Barb.
She's fantastic.
So much energy and wit.
Her death scene is heartbreaking.
Olivia Hussey as Jess
She's amazing too.
conveys both vulnerability and strength.
And John Saxon as Alteet Fuller.
He brings his gravitas to the role.
He's great in A Nightmare on Elm Street too.
Yeah, he's like a horror icon.
It's amazing how Black Christmas,
Manages to be both terrifying and thought-provoking.
it's more than just a slasher film.
It explores complex themes.
Challenges societal norms.
And it holds up so well.
Still creepy and relevant today.
It's a testament to its craftsmanship.
A true horror classic.
It's incredible how much Black Christmas has influenced the horror genre.
It's a landmark film.
I mean, so many slasher movies that came after,
Yeah.
they all owe a debt to Black Christmas.
You can see its DNA.
And everything from Halloween to Scream,
The isolated location, the group of friends,
picked off one by one.
the final girl, the masked killer.
It's all there in Black Christmas.
But it's more than just the tropes.
Right.
It's the way Black Christmas builds that atmosphere.
The suspense, the dread,
The use of sound and camera work.
to create a truly unsettling experience.
It set a new standard for horror.
And it also subverted expectations,
In so many ways.
like how it uses the holiday setting
to make the horror even more disturbing.
and the female characters.
Yeah.
They're not just victims.
They're strong. They're complex.
Absolutely, Jess.
Determined to make her own choices.
Even in the face of terror.
I think that's why Black Christmas still resonates today.
It speaks to our fears, but also our resilience.
That even in darkness, there's hope.
A will to survive.
It's a powerful message.
Black Christmas is a horror film.
But it's also about human nature.
Our capacity for good and evil
The strength we find in ourselves.
when faced with extraordinary circumstances
It's a film that deserves to be seen.
and discussed.
It's a classic for a reason.
And its impact is still felt today.
If you haven't seen it.
I highly recommend it.
But be warned.
It's a chilling experience.
One that will stay with you.
So you have it, folks.
A deep dive into Black Christmas.
A true holiday horror masterpiece.
A film that continues to terrify.
And inspire.
If you enjoyed this deep dive,
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
for more great movie reviews
He'll be back soon with another chilling tale.
from the world of horror cinema.
Until then, keep those lights on.
And happy holidays.
Oh yeah. Happy holidays, everyone.